Before we start off with our questions and answer, may I invite you guys again to crowd around the platform. And for those who just come by, thank you for coming down to second year anniversary of Suave. We're gonna kick things up with our question and A.
Test. Okay, hello guys. Welcome to Suave second anniversary. We appreciate your existence over here, and for today we're gonna have something very special. We have our finest brand owners and existing DJ. We have a graffiti artist. We have brand owners. We have even a food joint owner over here. So let me introduce them one by one again. I'll start with okay, he's been crowned champion for 3 times at the DMC Championship in 1998, 99 and 2001. He'd been a Zouk resident for 15 solid years. Also produced an album titled Flavor with Zouk and Universal Music Singapore that sold more than 15k copies, went platinum. The first on the list, DJ Andrew Chow. Give it up for him. Alright, next up, one of the most pioneering graffiti artists in Singapore. He founded the crew ZNC. If you guys, everyone heard of them, Zing Night Crew. They were founded 26 July 1998, 17 long years involvement in graffiti art scene. He had fly the flag high internationally with over 80 crew members worldwide up till date. I present you Slac Satu. Yep. Okay, next, he had hosted 3 successful years of the first and the biggest sneakers and streetwear convention in Singapore, gathering thousands of street culture enthusiasts in one common ground. Co-founder of Soul Superior SG, we are proud to present Dexter Tan. Okay, the next one would be, he had been producing cycling-inspired apparels, lifestyle products and accessories since 2009. Started out as a movement to encourage the community with cycling-related activities. They had since collaborated with big names from even United States, such as CNBC, Urban Velo, Macaframa as well. Alright, they are pretty special because you don't get a brand owner which is a husband and wife. It's something special. So yeah, we're gonna look more into that later. Acit Salbini and Jjay Ali from Peonfx. We actually supposed to have another guy, Daniel, from Legendary Society, but unfortunately he's down with food poison, so he had to pass for today's session. The next one, I'll be introducing this guy who had been in FME industry for quite some time. 2 decades. 2 decades here, he had built a very strong reputation, putting up the Singapore flag high, representing the country in various bartending competition as far as Las Vegas. And but then for now, he had switched from beverage to food. And yeah, you might have heard of them. Boys Cubanos, Azaman. So we have all our panelists over here that I've introduced. Okay, basically, my name is OJ and I run Suave Clothing Co. I would like to welcome everyone again here to our second anniversary. So for today, this session here is for everyone. Actually, we want to create an awareness, and we like everyone, every creative individual, to be part of this, because we would like to hear and share whatever these experienced people over here, what they've been through, and what they've gone through. So we want to share with you guys like how they make it over this year, because they have succeeded over all these years with so much effort, hard work. So we would want to share with you people who want to get into this thing, who want to be a future brand owners and stuff. So that's why we are putting up this whole session here. And okay, we're gonna start with Mr. Andrew Chow. I just want to ask you this one question. Like, you've been around for so many years. Like, how you managed to survive? Putting or doing something you like. As a job. How can you share with us on that? Being a DJ.
I would say it's a job. I started in '86, and I'm a massive collector. I got 12,000 copies of records. So I mean that's like enough saying.
Okay.
I mean there's like some ugly parts, which like I'll have to share a bit. I was in a movie with my girlfriend. I went off like 15 minutes before the movie ends because I went back to scratch.
That's like the real passion. So we want to ask you, a real passion versus paycheck, like job and passion.
It's both. For me now it's both. I'm a father of 3. Yeah. So
Okay.
All good.
Cool. Thank you, Mr. Andrew. Okay. So we are talking to people here who really make their in what they expertise to be their business right now. So we would want to hear more from these people. Slac, how how it all started, like picking up a spray can, and Slac have his own studio, the Blackbook Studio. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blackbook Studio, and he has been distributor for Look Colors,
Yeah.
painting products. So how did it all started in the first place? Like graffiti.
I love drawing from since young. So when I was in IT last time, I was just looking for some art platform which is unique. And at that point of time, graffiti just came into my life. So basically, as usual, just sleep in class, scribble, doodle all the time. So at this point, my friend, which is my crewmate, his name is Hilmi. He told me, hey, check it out, this graffiti art stuff. So I think we just love the freedom of it, like it's illegal and stuff, like being on the street. And during at that time, there's no legal walls yet in Singapore. So I think it's just the adrenaline rush of us bombing in the street illegally. It's just an addiction, I think, to just go out at night and just bomb everywhere. When you see Orchard Road now is very, very clean, but 10 years back it's not. 10 years back is hell over there. So yeah, I think it's just for the pure love of painting something big, and you can't find graffiti last time in like galleries and stuff. So it's just free art for the society. I mean, whatever the authorities look at it, of course, it's vandalism during that time because we have no legal laws. But I guess there are a few steps along the way, ups and downs. There's when I was caught in the year 2000. I mean, everything came crashing down. So,
When you said you get caught, like, does it affect the whole career thing?
back then it's not a career yet.
Okay,
It's just a free for all. So when we were caught back in 2000, we were one of the most wanted crew in Singapore because they have a thick file of our works. So, but it affect me quite hard because it involves my family also. So to so-called to continue doing it is very hard. So I almost quit. But my friend, he so-called registered my name under the first one of the first graffiti competition in Singapore. There is a National Youth Council, and at that point, I was half-hearted to join, but maybe just go for it, maybe for one last time. I thought, but I won first, so I think that's totally changed my mindset from doing illegal graffiti to making something out of it. I get my first commission jobs last time. So more or less, it helps to keep my passion alive. So yeah.
Alright, so we have here from Mr. Slac Satu himself about how it started and the journey over there. So we'll move over to Mr. Dexter. Mr. Dexter, I think he's the first guy who ever did the first sneaker convention. I shall say. I don't know if anyone did.
Very long ago, Andrew, do you remember the time when Clark Key, the bridge, eons ago, Empress Place, yeah. That was really long ago. I think I was 16 or 15 at that time.
But it wasn't like official.
It's just like a flea market, but that was what we could get in the past. That's all we could get. I mean, the sneaker scene wasn't very great. Streetwear wasn't that big a thing yet. So, in terms of a large scale, probably Soul Superior is the first. Yeah.
Okay. So you would like to tell the audience here more about what's the whole idea of Soul Superior?
Oh, okay. Soul Superior is basically a streetwear and sneaker convention. Every year, we have done it for 3 years. We bring together close to 40 to 50 brands, label owners, local designers, artists to showcase their wares, to sell sneakers, to trade, to just hang out. So Soul Superior basically to me is a meeting place for street culture to come together. Every year we try to include as many facets of the culture or community as we can, be it artists, musicians. Every year we find cooler and new brands, young brands coming up. Because I think now, because streetwear is in its prime in Singapore, you walk down Orchard Road, every kid is wearing sneakers now. No longer do you see those guys wearing Crocs, skinnies, tuxing slippers. Sorry, bro. FMB, you have to wear Crocs.
Pun intended.
No choice. Yeah, right. I used to be a waiter as well in a kitchen crew, so I know the importance of wearing
Anti-slip.
Yeah, anti-slip. Alright, but in terms of the style culture and street culture in Singapore, it has exploded. We have artists being, musicians. The XS crew are here. They have grown big ever since I first saw them on YouTube, like 4 or 5 years ago. We have artists now exploding onto the scene, getting commissioned works. So Superior is, I would like to think of it as a manifestation of that. A physical event once a year where everyone comes together, have a good time, grab drinks, get food, chill out, catch up with friends. Yeah.
Alright, so that's a little bit about what Mr. Dexter Tan and his whole Soul Superior idea is. Okay, so the next one that I would like to introduce you guys again, Acit and JJ from Peonfx. So Acit and JJ has been running Peonfx since 2009. Am I right? Yeah. In Singapore, I'm not too sure whether today, up till date, if people do appreciate local labels and brands, but I think it has evolved over the years, and I would like to personally ask you guys, because you guys had been there for quite some time and had been doing a lot of project with people from US, UK, and like, could you give us a bit of your thoughts on that? Like, in general, like, do you think that local label could make it here in Singapore, like streetwear and stuff?
I think yeah. I strongly believe local labels can make it out there. It's just at first, like how we started. We sent out like our T-shirt to friends out in the States, in the UK, and then apparently people want more of the T-shirt, and then that's how it grew, and then it took a long way. People in the States wear it first, and then Singapore people look.
So it started
Yeah.
abroad, then came back to. Okay,
Because
so
it goes full circle. It's like, well, I'm a strong believer that local makers, local brands should be able to survive here. But it's just that because of the foreign materials that is readily available here, there's a lot of comparison ongoing when it comes to comparison with whatever that you can buy from the States and whatever you can buy here. But if we pursue to make it as good of a quality, and we're passionate about how we do it, when we do it, why we do it, well, you sort of like evolves along the way. People starts to notice, people starts to recognize, people starts to open up and say, hey, it's not too bad. Yeah, that's what I feel.
10 years ago versus now, 2016. How do you differentiate, the local makers or the local brands here?
10 years ago. We're the 70s child, both of us. It's we grew up doing things a lot DIY. We were not educated in how to run a business or how to design things or things like that. We sort of like work our way to find out what works. And I think from what we've learned while growing up, I mean, doing all the things DIY on our own, it sort of like assisted us or toughened us up to try to build our brand back in the 20th century right now. And it seems to work out pretty okay.
All right. For what I know, Acit himself is a craftsman. Am I right to say that, Acit? Yeah. So, for Peonfx itself, the whole idea and the whole concept was cycling and inspired. So I heard you guys have this subsidiary of Peonfx itself, which Acit, craft his own things. So, like, can you tell us more about it?
It's actually my day job. I'm a stagecraft user, so I did sceneries for musicals. So on the side, I got a workshop and then be able to work with a lot of machines and tools. So at the side, I did stuff for just whatever bicycle related. Yeah.
Okay, that's from Acit and JJ from Peonfx. We have a musician, artists, we have graffiti artists, we have convention organizer, we got a brand owner. So the next step, it's not complete, every it's like something to complete our life. It's food lah, of course. So Mr. Mac Azaman, founder of Boys Cubanos, and everyone would like to know, like, there are so many food in the world, like French, Italian, American, Tex-Mex, all this. But how did you find that idea of bringing a traditional Cuban sandwich down here in Singapore?
Okay, basically for the idea came when we traveled to US, to Vegas, then we moved around in US for a bit. We saw that it is it's a big thing there. I mean, the Cubanos is a big thing in US, and when we that time I was still bartending. I mean, that when we came back here, then when I started to basically I started to go straight, so no more alcohol, nothing else. So I want to do a halal project. This is what it came by last 1.5 years ago. So that's it. That's how it came out.
But the transition between beverage and food, like, I mean, are you trained professionally in in the kitchen?
No. I mean, me and my crew, all of us we are not chef, but basically we love to cook. Me, myself, my wife, and my brother, Farid. We love to cook, and we basically have. We have OCD with us, so basically it's a obsessive cooking disorder. So basically, we like to experiment. It's the same. I think it's the same thing that what we do in the bar, mixing cocktails and everything. So we put it into our food. So trying new stuff, coming up with something different, something niche.
Okay, as you guys know, the whole discussion thing is related to like the street culture. So you know, I think it's considered a part of a street culture, the street food. So like the street food versus restaurant food, like your views on it.
I mean, it's a totally different perspective if you're talking about street food and restaurant food. But I think street food gives you more homely, something from the heart. Something that you put your passion out there rather than business. I mean, if you're talking about maybe like restaurant or cafe, it's more business rather than putting the thing out there. And I think if they say you see our food and our price and everything, we are not trying to be. We want to what we want to do is to give out good food to for people to try.
Right. So okay, Mr. Andrew. This whole panel discussion thing is here to actually inspire a lot of people. And for future aspiring creative individual who would like to be an artist, or who would like to be a brand owners, or etc. So as a pioneering DJ, you've been around for so long, and like what could you advise for people who would like to get into that line, who would like to be a DJ, someone who just come up to you and say, hey Andrew, I want to be a DJ, and I want to make it as a job for me. Like, what's your advice on that?
Okay, firstly, I would like to say I'm self-taught because I started at 86. There's no such thing like DJ course, no iPhones, no computer, there's no YouTube. So, Jesse Jeff is one of my greatest inspirers. I'll listen to my cassette, I'll rewind and rewind and rewind till I get it. You know what I mean? So, I read like 14 hours a day. Yeah. And I'm jobless for 3 years. Just to play turntable. Because I can't work, I'll keep standing there like, there. I'll tell the manager like, can I go toilet? The next thing you know, I went to the bathroom and went home. So, that is what I call a payback. That is why 95, November the 9th, that's my first day of. Yeah. It's a very, you cannot, it's like not nowadays kids. Wow, 16 years old, they are producing tracks. Wow, 16 years old, I'm just cycling BMX. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to have that soul to create music. Not just, okay, Ableton, what Logic or whatever, garage band. You get what I mean? Yeah. So, a good DJ will be a good producer. But for myself, I still like to play in clubs, in like events, I've never think of being a producer before.
Okay, so the difference producing and being a DJ. What's the difference? You could explain to us a bit about that.
Okay, firstly, it's like you have to like, okay, some of the guys like their house DJ, Eddie Miguel, or they are going like the other way around. Like these guys, their label went overseas first, then they sell back here. That's the way. Because local music, like, we have people like Construction Side, Check Hiker, and like Ashide. We have like a lot of people that
I mean that's like what we've been wanting to hear from people, like, oh, local things. You put it aside. Then when it was bring outside Singapore, and then it happened down there, and we came back. Then people start to oh, okay,
and it's very sad. You see, in like KL, Malaysia, Joe, all these people, they are big, man. Joe Fizzle, he's big. He's not like Titanium in Thailand. They are big. Not like we local artists. So I feel that government is to be blamed.
You guys agree on that?
I mean, government don't support music. They support art, but not music. Maybe. I feel.
Can I refer that question to Mr. Slac Satu? Can you relate on that?
Yeah, I can relate on that. I think it's the same. I think for since we are in the four elements, hip hop, it's the same thing. I mean, as for a DJ, I think 3 times it's harder for a graffiti artist to make it here, because I think the government support for the art over here is all about the mainstream. Yeah, and it's not for local wise. Maybe some who are lucky enough to make it, but most of it they will just support the foreign artists. So for us here to so-called get up, with them up there is very, very hard. I mean, it's the same thing as the local clothing also. I mean, I also have my own label, and it's hard for us to to keep track and be on the same par as the the more famous brandings out there, like Obey, Rebel A and stuff. So I think more or less Singapore, they kill the passion here and what the creativity here. I mean, everything is so fake already. So it's I think most of us, like Mr. Andrew here and me and the rest of the guys, we are self-taught. So even for myself, when I started graffiti, there's no one to guide me. So I just look from the picture and just practice from there onwards. So yeah, I think it's something in common. It's the same thing. Yeah.
When you talk about the support that you get from the government and maybe organization, right? So how does it compare past and then? Is it still the same, or is it been better, or?
I think not that in the past that there's no support. There are support, but it's just like a one-off support. It doesn't follow up from there. I mean, and until now, I guess as you know, the scene in Singapore, like the graffiti scene, is so damn small. The new generation are not like picking up, because although we have a legal walls already, I mean, last time we have no legal walls, and we are more organized and more passionate about the street art last time. But even so, now with the so-called legal walls, but it's not enough. I think we need to step up, because what we are looking for is more bigger walls, not just a wall. Okay, you got a wall, that's it. Same thing like everyone here. We have their own platform. I mean, the bigger the better, I guess. So it's more exposure for me, and especially for the new generations. I mean, for me, maybe I have my own contacts nowadays, but I would love to bring up the scene more. Other than having my own place to paint, I haven't been really painting at the legal walls at the skate park for quite a number of years, until recently, because I just don't like the way they manage it, the new management. So that's why I never paint there anymore. So yeah, I think that's about it. It's the same. There's no support. There's no support for local artists. for local clothing. I mean, basically, it's 10 times harder for us to get out here.
But I don't know. From just be truthful, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that it could actually expand and like everyone could like unite together and do something? I don't know, because today I don't know if it's a good thing to do this, get everyone here and get different people from different background and like uniting everyone here. So do you think that there are more chances of us being, together again in an event? It's hard to get everyone here. So
Yeah.
what do you think of that? Do you think that shall like more people come out with more events that involve a lot of people around?
Yeah, for sure. I think this is a very good platform that we are meeting each other. We should have more of this. I just came back from Jakarta. They had an event called Street Dealing, which is just basically on graffiti clothing. And the crowd is huge. There's hip hop going on, and the thing from end to end, thousands of people with just and so-called, although they are joint venture with the Jakarta Binale, but their support for the underground scene is so much bigger. And in Singapore, it's totally dead, but over there, it's still alive. So I think for me, this is a very, very important thing here. I would love to have everyone, do an event together, especially the local clothing label, which we don't have a festival going on in Singapore. KL have one, Indonesia have one. I mean, Southeast Asia, they are overtaking like Singapore scene already, in every aspect, mostly in every aspect. So we also need to learn from them and get united, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, to Dexter, like organizer for a convention and a street label and a sneakers convention, right? So, like what Mr. Slac say, Malaysia, Indonesia, they had took over us. I don't know how far that goes, but Singapore used to be, those Far East Plaza time.
Yeah, we used to be the best.
Yeah.
Number one in streetwear, the influencers of the region. But I agree with Mr. Slack. We have lost a lot of foothold in that. You just need to go to Thailand and see. Their street festivals, huge. They have events that are way cooler than ours. They had a futsal event on a floating barge. It floated down a river while they were playing futsal on it. I mean, who thinks of that? They think of that. But for here, we have so much more restrictions. I'm not going to say that it's not possible. It is. It's just that how much, for me personally, is how much I want it to be like that. For me, I'm limited by finances, by logistics, by location. To rent a warehouse in Singapore, it's about 50 to 100,000 for one day. Damn, that's a quarter of a HDB flat right there. That's like throwing away my future. So I mean, we work through whatever means we have. I believe that for the labels like Peon, for Suave, we work through pure grit and passion for wanting our brand to be out there. And I mean, for both of them as well, they've been grinding for years, and it's because of their hard work they are where their name is there right now. I think for young brands, especially like Soul Superior, is only 3 years old, we need to do the same. I've been trying to fight for government grant money, STB, make Soul Superior a tourism event, so I can make it bigger, maybe take out Gardens by the Bay or whatever, that shit stuff. But I know it's not gonna happen. They're gonna say like, yeah, just one small event. What are you to me? Alright? But that will not stop me from doing what I do on a yearly basis. Like you have not slept for a day. I do the same. 2 days before Soul Superior, I don't sleep at all. Doing videos, getting everything together. I think right now for the new generation my generation that's following up, what I would say is that we should not give a shit of what people say. Yeah, just do what you think is right. If you think that taking government grant money will help you, take it. I have heard of people saying that, oh, you're a sellout because you take 50k from NYC. Some people have been, giving a face, some people have done it. But hell, at the end of the day, our passion, if it can translate to dollars, it's a great thing. And even though passion first, it should still be sustainable enough that we can survive in Singapore. Or, you know, we will do what a lot of people do, and we can just market our brand overseas, and hopefully it bounces back. Yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing, you see. Who knows? I'm hoping that Soul Superior can be a street event in future. I need more space. I'm looking for more space. Hopefully, 10 years down the road, when I save enough money here at every event, I can do that one street festival that I want Singapore Street Festival to be. Not that Singapore Street Festival that where they play at malls. That's bullshit. I cannot say anything because I used to host for them, so they used to pay me money to, yeah, it was Singapore Street Festival, welcome to Singapore Street Festival, I'm Dexter, I'm your MC for today. But yeah, I want a proper one where there's music, there's food, there's graffiti artists, there's so much things. We have so many artisans in Singapore right now, and I think the maker culture in Singapore has grown so big in these few years. And to say that we don't have talent is bullshit. We have the talent, it's just that we have to find the right place and the right time and the right way to market it to the world. So I don't know whether Soul Superior is going to be that. I cannot promise anything. After all, first and foremost, it's from my love for sneakers. And if along the way I can push up whoever I can push up with me, we're all in this together. When the brands do well, I do well as well. So both on a financial and a passion standpoint. So hopefully, Street Festival, few years time, give me some time. I promise I'll do something about it. Yeah.
We're gonna, you know, expect something from
yeah,
Dexter
I
soon.
hope I don't fail yo.
Okay, so like you've been organizing a convention. So you've met a lot of brand who you deal with, you know, like vendors, you know,
Yeah.
different type of brand. So I'm not too sure, but just a curious question. Like, let's say for a new brand that just, you know, they are passionate, they say, okay, I want to start a brand, I want to start a clothing line, or just something, or maybe a craft, leathering, you know, those sorts of things. So have you ever met, or have someone ever came up to you and say like, you know, I want to do this, I really like it, I want to build a brand, but then I'm not confident enough, or I might worried that, you know, people will just, you know, no, just don't just do that, you know, cut that crap and stuff. You know, you might be better off doing some other things. So have you ever met that kind of people who wanted to do things but they are scared, they are afraid to do it?
Yeah, of course, every year. Every year we get many brands, many individuals coming up to us say, hey, I want to showcase at Soul Superior. I don't know whether my idea is good, but I want to showcase. I'm thinking about it. So I always tell them, how much do you want it? First year when I did Soul Superior, not first year, year zero, when we first had the idea for Soul Superior, I pitched it to brands. Adidas, Nike, Vans, every single street label. I sent close to 100 emails out to these brands, to their brand owners. I think I was end up in a spam folder or whatever not. First thing that most of these brands told me is that, who are you? Do you think it will work? I don't think it will work. Come back when you have a bit more reputation. So that's the first thing what people told me when I was, and that time it was just two guys who decided on Soul Superior after drinking one night. We were a bit tipsy and said, hey, why don't I have Soul Superior? You want to do a sneaker event? Yeah, let's do a sneaker event. Yeah, let's do it. Then we realized the bill come up for the venue and all that. Wow, chalat. So every year what I tell the brands is that just do it or you will regret it forever. You never know. As a younger kid, when I was 15, 16, I always wanted my own t-shirt brand. I did my own t-shirt brand. It failed miserably. I sold 2 t-shirts, one to my mom and one to my aunt. After that, I shelved a lot of the designs. Designs are still in my hard drive at home. So one day, once my Soul Superior name big, I'm going to relaunch my label. So your dreams will always remain there if you don't dare to take that first step. I've met countless people who took that first step and now they've exploded. like Finn. You know Finn? They make those aprons and the denim wear. When I first met him, he was just making aprons. But after a while talking to him, he's so passionate. He quit his full-time job, did it fully, and now nearly every single coffee or barista is wearing his stuff. You know, that's how cool it is. So every year, any brand who comes up, if you want to start a label, be it something inconsequential. I have a label from this year, I think it was near you. Soul Art, remember? They were selling little pins, handmade pins of sneakers. Logically, anyone will tell you that's not financially sound. You make one pin, you take 2 hours to make it, and you sell it for what, 10 bucks? I can earn more doing some kind of waiting job in graveyard shift, right? But they still do it. And now they're getting more and more orders. So as a young brand, what I always tell all the new labels coming out, just go ahead, push it. If you need help, ask. Don't. The rule of thumb is be thick skin. Be super thick skin. I have brands, young brands who came up to me and asked, my brand is young, but I don't want to pay the rental fee. My rental fee is only $50 for 2,000 people to come and see you. But then he pitched a good pitch. And I believe that sometimes some people just need a little push. So he's like, okay lah, don't tell anyone. Next year everyone want free booth. So I was like, okay, fine. I'll give it to you. Show me what you got. And they performed. They brought stuff down. They did a lot of cool shit. So that's what I want most brands to remember, and what I went through as well, doing So Superior. Be thick skin. Ask. Who knows? Hell, go ask the government, youth council. I got a brand. Pay me money to market my brand. Whether you fail or not, right? At least you try. Or not, you'll always be a dream, or always be that 2 megabyte Photoshop file in your hard drive at home, waiting 10 years for a big break again. You know, if you don't know, you don't try, you'll never know what's the end result. Plus, whether you make it or don't, ultimately, you're being true to what you want to do. Yeah.
Alright, very interesting, okay, so the next thing, something related with the Acit and JJ. So like, in overseas, if you're a true follower of the street culture and brands and stuff, most of the brand owner today, what we saw, they make it big. They are all over on social media, on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And you see, they really make it big. Ben Hundreds, all these people, and they threw away their full-time job. One of my favorite owner was Benny Gould. Yeah, Benny Gould. I think he's very inspirational, and I just want to ask. I know it's Singapore. It's not gonna happen that way, but throwing away your full-time job and doing, starting a brand full-time. What do you guys think about that? Just your point of view. It's no right, no wrong.
We still keep our day job. One of the reasons, because my day job is also my passion. Like you say, I build stuff, so it's also hard for me to not doing what I do. So that's the reason I stick to my day job. And we also thought like in Singapore it's quite impossible just to have that brand inside and just live on that brand. So yeah, we still keep it. That is for us.
I'm not too sure if anyone does, but like a full-time like branding, especially apparels, like having a shop. I don't know who have that in Singapore, like they do it full-time, but then again, is it how you differentiate, like, you know, in overseas and in Singapore, like, is it still possible, or, you know, it's not possible at all?
I don't know. Maybe we don't have that answer for you.
I guess
Yeah, it's a tough one.
possible or not possible on having a physical store. Physical store. I mean, we come to a point where we're in this era where everything is easily accessed via the internet, and then the power of the internet is something that we need to tap on right now, as in social media, as in a social media platform, as a selling platform. So that's what we're tapping on right now. And then because of social media, that's where I think Peonfx has moved a little further and a little faster than the usual. I mean, if previously we were to have a brand and we do not have the internet, I think it's going to be quite hard. There's going to be a lot of hard selling, and then Singaporeans are not very easily pleased. I think we come to a point where we realize that generally right now, I mean the youth right now, there are so many choices that they can get when it comes to buying things off the net or off the shelf. So the competition is harder. So with the power of social media, I think it is easier for us to bring the brand across, not just concentrating it locally but also globally. And then we do a lot of movement as well. So right now we don't see the requirement of having, I mean, the need to have a physical shop as of right now. But point of sales is good. I mean, we do have point of sales in Singapore. So I think that's whatever that is currently what we're doing right now is pretty sufficient.
Okay. Okay, I'll be going over to Mac. Okay. Up till date, right? Till today. I mean, like, when you first started the whole brand, when you started the whole Cubanos thing, like, would you expect that, you know, the masses would appreciate your food or your invention? I wouldn't say your invention because it existed long time ago, but then to bring it in Singapore and in your own style and twist. So, like, how had the response been up till date?
Okay, for that, when we first started out in 2014 in September, we are located in 313 Somerset, and I think it was okay, but I mean, the awareness is not really there, even though we are located in town itself, right? So we took a step back. We shut down our operation in 313 in last year, I think somewhere in February, March. So we shut it down. Take a look at what we did wrong or whatever it is. So what I did was we decided to go to Pasar Malam, to go to the heartland. So rather than people coming to us, we go to the people. So we move around in Pasar Malam, and I think that is where it started to boom up. And suddenly, out of sudden, the first Pasar Malam we did in Woodlands, it just kicked off. Then in Punggol, it was so crazy. Then we have like 2 hours of queue for our Cubanos, and which I think is ridiculous. Like, it just go from there.
Okay, so I mean, like, before you guys, I'm not too sure if anyone have that idea, and you guys are halal joint, right? So I think we saw, like, you know, a few Mexican style food all around. There's a few bars doing that, but the first one to, you know, introduce like Latin American street food, like, we have our own burger Ramly and stuff, right? Our favorites. So all these people, I would like to hear from you yourself. Do do they like the change? You know, some our locals, they would stick to that old school mentality, like, no, I still like my burger ramly, you know, nothing else. But do you think the whole idea changed the mentality of the people who get the sandwich from you?
No, I think people are still comfortable with burger ramly thingy. You know, like pasar malam automatically is burger ramly, automatically is kebab, and that's one of the reason why we, in a way, we started this project, the halal project. It's me myself is getting a little bit tired about, you know, go to the pasar malam, have a shit kebab for like $3 for $10 with basically just the tortilla shell, basically, you know. So what we did is, what we wanted to do was to showcase good food, proper street food, with a very reasonable price to the masses. So that's where we started this halal project.
Okay, so how long have you guys been around?
Since September 2014.
Okay, like the previous question which I relate to Acit and JJ about having a physical store, like for you guys as well, like, do you guys have a physical store?
Okay, at the moment now we do have our physical store. We have our HQ already now, which is in Masjid Kampung Siglap. It's still open to public. I mean, there's no compound at the mosque, so people from, I mean, there's condo next door. People from the condo just, you know, just come down and have the food. It is very hard, to be honest with you, even for food, even like for us to have a physical store. Actually is the rent is the killer. I think people are okay with the cost and everything. The one that will kill you basically is the rent. Even, okay, to be honest with you guys, even if let's say in pasar malam, everybody thought like, oh, pasar malam is supposed to be cheap, you know, with cheap food. The rent for pasar malam is basically $5,000 a month. That's not including your electricity and your water point.
That is just pasar malam, right?
And that also depends on which location they are at. If they are, let's say it's like Tampines MRT, high volume, or if let's say you're talking about Woodlands, Causeway Point, it's the same. Maybe it goes up to 6,000. Depend on which location of your stall. If you want a prime stall in the front, then maybe it goes up to 7,000.
So I think it's more of the rental thing that would kill the chances and opportunity of brand owners who wants to have a physical store. But can I relate that back to Mr. Slac, because you have your own studio, like how, you know, could share with us on that?
Okay, 5,000 for. Okay, that's really okay for myself. I think it's all about the rental. Also, it really kills us. I mean, not that because my studio is a visual art place, so it's really not as high as Haji Lane side, you know. But for my rental, I mean, like, let's say average like 2K, which we are like paying for every month. You know, when I go to Jakarta, they say their rental is 2K for every year. So yeah, that's I think that's already sums up that how hard we are, you know, trying to get by every day and every month. Yeah, so I think for me, I still need to have that, because mine is like a graffiti store. So we bring in like graffiti paint. So I guess it's important for the guys, the young guys, to try it out rather than just use shitty paints like Pilox, which I've been using for 10 years last time. But I guess it's easier now for them because we are trying our best to keep the scene alive. So we also hope, other than they supporting us, we also want to support them by having a space to paint on, making new walls for this year, and maybe hopefully getting more events. I mean, I don't mind if rental wise, space wise is small, but it's just about creating like small events. Even for me, I have my own studio, but we can't do events at our space there, so it's a waste of space. we are still trying to get contacts with the higher people, to ask for making such a like small event. We have done small events, but it's illegal events, and we got shut down by landlords. So we have our own problems over there. But I think rental in Singapore is damn high, killer. Yeah.